You're gonna wanna keep watching to learn how to do this glam. Step by step, beginner friendly. This is the full glam look for your nights out, parties, events, etc. And this makeup will not only last you all day, but will be making you look like a Bratz doll. The first step to actually have your makeup long lasting and looking beautiful like a filter is your skincare. I use Korean skincare. I just apply that all over my face. I like to also go in with the Embryolisse cream. This one is one of the top makeup artists recommended. Embryolisse Moisturizer acts like a moisturizer and a primer. This is one of the best products to make your makeup last if you want for 12 hours or long hours. This will do the trick. My face is feeling so lovely and glowy. This is my favorite part. And my eyeshadow today off camera. If you do want an eyeshadow tutorial, just let me know. Currently, I'm using the MAC pencil. I always recommend do not fill in the inner eyebrow too much because then it'll tend to look like you are frowning. Always try to go where you want to highlight. For example, I want to highlight my arch, fill in right over there. Blend and fluff the eyebrow. The MAC eyebrow gel across my eyebrows as well to really set. For today's look, I'm wearing the Estée Lauder Double Wear Foundation. I do also like the Too Faced foundation when I want that full look effect. I always recommend just grab your foundation and instead of pumping it on or putting it on directly to your face, just apply it on your hand like so. Once I've gotten the foundation colors that I want, currently I'm going to be blending two colors, and I grab my foundation brush. I'm using the MAC 171S, just picking up the foundation with my brush and dabbing it all over the face. I would say the number one difference that it makes when you're applying your foundation, whether you do use a brush or a beauty blender, is always dab. So kind of go in tapping motions, because when you swipe like that, you're actually removing foundation off and you get those streaky looks. I also don't like to go with too much foundation on my forehead because I know later on I'm going to be adding bronzer anyways, and as well the forehead doesn't always need too much of a foundation look because we already have the shadows and the hairlines that we don't want to change too much. We're gonna go move on to our next step, which is our contour. I like to first go in with all my liquid products. So I grab a little bit of my liquid bronzer. I just grab my damn beauty blender. Make sure you squeeze your beauty blender and just build that contour up. So it looks really aggressive right now, but once we blend in with everything, you'll get that snatched look. And I like to go in the forehead zone. As I mentioned, this is why I put less foundation over there. I love a good sculpted tan look. Always make sure when you're blending your bronzer, technique is to blend upwards. Don't blend down to your face, but we always want to give a lifted look. If you like to give yourself a little nose contour, you can also do the same. Grab your liquid contour with your beauty blender and just apply it on the bridge of your nose, the left side and on the right side. And my next step is going in with my liquid blush before my concealer because I want to blend it under the concealer, and I'm just going like that. So this liquid blush is my new favorite actually. It's called Colourpop and it was from Ulta in America. It's so affordable and I'm obsessed with the pigmentation. That already looks so beautiful. One thing that I love about blush is you can keep playing around with the colors. So this was a really hot pink, and now I actually want to add a little bit of a neutral blush tone in there. I'm going to be going with the MAC Glow Play blush, and again just dabbing my finger and applying that all over my cheeks. Again, keep remembering the technique where I mentioned lifting it upwards. I've actually had a long journey with blush. The funniest part is when I was younger, I hated blush because I thought it would make me look too red or I looked too young. But as the years went on, I grew to love blush. Now moving on to the part that everyone's been waiting for is the concealer. The magic begins here where you get to highlight and accentuate certain parts of your face. I'm going in in with the Too Faced concealer, and I think you've already learned the technique. I'm not going to be applying that directly to my face, but similar to the other steps we've been doing, just applying that straight to my hand. And I'm going to be also going in with the L'Oreal concealer and applying that beside as well. Black concealer brush. This one is from MAC number 268S. Picking up the product, I'm going to be applying the concealer where I want to brighten my face. The places I always recommend is right under your eye here. This is going to be overlaying the blush we just put, but it's going to blend seamlessly. I'm also applying concealer right over here. This is kind of the bridge and inner eye. Not only highlights your under eye and brightens your face, but it also will help with our nose contour. I'm also applying some liquid concealer right under where we put our liquid contour. As what you probably predicted, just grabbing my beauty blender, dabbing the concealer on my hand, and now blending it. Oh my gosh, that looks so beautiful. Look how beautifully it just blends with that blush that we just did. Do you see how that literally looks like a filter? Now it's for my favorite part. Now that we've applied all our liquid products, it's the powder. This is what's gonna actually make your makeup stay as long as possible and last you for so long. So I'm first gonna go with a powder bronzer, and with a fine brush like this, you're gonna apply it exactly where you put the liquid. I'm using the powder bronzer called Give Me Sun from MAC, and also Too Faced Milk Chocolate. I like to mix these two. And when you're going across the hairline, instead of brushing downwards, try to brush upward, blending that bronzer into the hairline. We're then gonna grab a setting powder. I've honestly tried so many setting powders and I've struggled. Favorite powder at the moment is the Huda Beauty. Setting powder does make your face look more matte, but this is why we moisturize so much in the beginning of this makeup look. Just apply the product like that, and then going within the inner eye and applying that like so. I unfortunately have more dry skin, so I just like to keep it under my eyes. I don't really go on my forehead, and if I want, a little bit right under the contour area. Then I'm going with my blush from MAC called Lovejoy. Then I just grab my brush, dab it into the powder blush, tap off any excess, and again, put it right where we put that liquid blush, right on top. As much as I love my natural makeup, I sometimes love doing my full glam look. I like to call it the Bratz look because you really feel like a Bratz doll. And then when I do natural glam, I call that the Barbie look because we're doing the more natural glowy makeup look. But today we want to look like a Bratz doll. We're gonna do a photo shoot, and then I have an event that I'm going later tonight. And especially for photo shoots, I recognize on camera you do have to apply more product to really get that photograph. We are almost done this look. We're gonna go in with a highlighter. I like this Too Faced highlighter that I've been using, that as you can tell, it's almost done, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do when it's done. It's a very champagne-y color, and just applying it with a fluffy brush right on my cheekbones, a little bit on the tip of my nose and the bridge. Last but not least, we have the lips. The final touch, I'm going in with the Makeup by Mario lip liner pencil and just applying that right above my lips. I always recommend, if you do want to overline, never overline the outside of the lips. Just right under your bottom lip over here and right over the cupid bow. And for the lipstick, I'm using the MAC lipstick called Twig Twist. It's a mauvey dark pink kind of look, and just dabbing that a little bit on the lips. And finally, you can't forget about that lip gloss. I'm going in with the Makeup by Mario. It is called Plumbing Lip Serum, and it's the shade Rosewood Glow. This is my first time using this, and I can just tell you, it blends like butter. I'm obsessed. And you can't forget the setting spray to make sure everything is locked in. And that is the final glam. I feel like a literal Bratz doll. I promise you, this will last you all day. This is gonna be on my face for 12 hours. So I'm gonna have this for my photo shoot and for the event that I'm going later tonight. And I hope you guys liked the video. Mwah.